Welcome back, folks. Sheepdog Smokey here, and we've got a blast from the past. You see, for many years now, liberal gun control morons have focused in with eagle eyes on the AR-15 as their foot in the door. We all know that their goal is to completely disarm every law-abiding citizen in the country. We all know that they do know for a fact that if they ever do that, the crime rate in this country will skyrocket. And we know that they don't care because then they can institute martial law.
Take a look at this video used to shoot a watermelon using an AR-15.
The video you just saw is proof that their allies in the media don't care that we see them for the absolute idiots they are. That is obviously a relatively inexpensive 12-gauge shotgun. I'm guessing a 870 Wingmaster, possibly a Mossberg Maverick. Hard to tell from the video, but it is one of the more affordable 12-gauge shotguns. Pump action, you can see him action the slide. You can see the shotgun shell fly out to his right. But of course, the person narrating says something moronic like, look what an AR-15 does to this watermelon. I can tell you that if I shoot a watermelon with an AR-15, even at close range, you're going to get a tiny little entry hole and maybe a slightly larger exit. At the range he was, probably 30 yards, watermelon's probably not even going to budge. Just going to dribble a bit. The .223 or .556 round in many areas of the country has been deemed as not powerful enough to humanely kill prey animals. So you can't even hunt with it. The only hunting I would do with a .223 is if a coyote was threatening my animals or my family. I might pull out the AR, but that's if I'm out of shotgun ammo. Or hog hunting with .556 green tip steel core ammunition, where I've got 20 or 30 other people all sitting with me, ready to just put a few hundred rounds into a feral hog pack. Other than that, my AR-15 is for marksmanship. I carry a 9mm for my concealed carry weapon. I have a .45 caliber that I love, that I've had for years, but you can't conceal it. I wear it on the range, and I wear it on the land out here, where I don't have to conceal it. And of course, like every Texan, you got to have a shotgun, because you're going to get buzzards and crows and snakes, and a good old scattergun will either send them running or it'll turn them to liquid. Each one serves its own purpose, and none of them are assault weapons. The simple definition of assault weapon, by simple etymological terms, is any item used as a weapon to assault someone. This iPhone could be used as an assault weapon. Weighs a quarter to a half pound. Bop somebody right in the temple with it, they're going down, unconscious or maybe worse. The heel of your hand can be used as a weapon to assault someone. Strike someone with enough power, right there, on an upward trajectory, you're going to drive some cartilage back into their head. If it goes deep enough, death. Baseball bat, crowbar, hammer, ice pick, screwdriver, wrench, car, stick, belt, pressure cooker. Any inanimate object on this planet can be perverted into a weapon and used to assault someone. So then, when they don't get far on that trajectory, they move to weapons of war. Well, the closest the AR-15 platform ever got to being a weapon of war is when Armalite proposed to have it be sold to the U.S. Army as the primary rifle. The U.S. Army, knowing they would not prefer a semi-automatic rifle as their primary rifle, turned them down. And they went to someone else who produced the M4 and the M16, which are select fire weapons. An AR-15, like mine, has two settings on safety switch. Safe, not safe. I pull the trigger. Doesn't matter if I super glue that trigger down. One round will be fired. I must fully release the trigger and pull again for the next round. In M16, right now, you have four settings on the trigger, or the safety. You have safe, You have semi-auto, one pull, one boom. You have three-shot, which is one pull, three booms, and you have automatic. Hold it down long enough, and you will empty your magazine. Useful if you're in a situation where people are armed with similar or possibly heavier hitting weapons, and they are aiming them at you. I have defined or coined the term, or used it as a term, of spray and pray. It's really all fully automatic is when you look at something like an M16. Your accuracy takes a nosedive from the 100-meter board into the pool. Because with muzzle lift, with recoil, with possibly having to sweep side to side, you can't have any idea where those rounds are going. If you have someone downrange firing at you, you don't really have a choice. You spray and you pray. Three-shot burst is a little better because muzzle rise on an M16 with a 2.23 or 5.56 is minimal, especially if you have enough experience with it to mitigate that. So three-shot burst at maybe 100 yards or less, you have a tolerable amount of control. Semi-automatic is the only way I prefer to shoot because I can mitigate the muzzle rise. I can take the tiny bit of recoil. I can put myself back on target with side picture and pull the trigger again. What the weapons of war morons don't ever address is that Beretta and Glock 9mm, still several 45 ACPs, the Colt 1911 very famously, and shotguns are used by the military, while the AR platform rifles, common all over this country, are not. The only two things that you might say about the AR platform when it comes to the military are that the basic takedown of an AR-15 is the same as an M16, and the magazines are interchangeable. The only reason for that? Armalite designed a great magazine. There's no reason to change it. They designed it for a round that can be purchased fairly inexpensively, especially when you're purchasing thousands, tens of thousands, or more at a time, such as the military would do. And the takedown, well, they basically said, Armalite wanted us to use their semi-automatic rifle. We don't like semi-automatic. We want select fire. And whoever they went to said, well, I can design something that's basically the same, but has the other features you want. There will be some similarities, but that's where it will end. You cannot, and I have no criminal record, period. Not even a traffic violation. I've actually seen what's on my FBI report. It's a blank page that says a report was created because I was a member of a sheriff's department for a time. So that check they ran basically created a folder. It might list that I was former law enforcement because if I'm ever arrested, I have to be housed in isolation on suicide watch from the start. With that level of a clean record, I cannot go to a store and order an M16. I have to pay thousands of dollars or more for a special class license and stamp. And then the rifle itself is going to be prohibitively expensive. So, no, little miss, I'm going to call whatever I want to call an AR an AR. You're wrong again. Just like the journalist who thought it would be so easy to just buy an AR. And the close stores she found didn't stock them. And the ones she did finally find one at couldn't sell to her because their firearms person wasn't on staff that day. And then when she finally went somewhere that was ready to sell, she didn't actually think there was going to be a background check. And they ran a background check. So, much like Colion Noir said in a recent video, this is not really a bad thing that more people right now are buying firearms. Because it's educating people that we already have background checks. The NICS check is required by federal law. Californians are learning that no, you can't just walk into the store with cash and buy a gun. They're also learning that thanks to Garcetti and other liberal mayors and Governor Snowflake Newsom, those things that they paid for and ran their background check and then started the 7-day wait, they can't even pick them up due to closure of the state. Meanwhile, we have morons like the lady narrating this video and the hundreds of them in Congress who don't care one whit that we see their lies and we see them for what they are. And every day, more and more people abandon the Democratic Party because they don't want to be part of a party of liars who care nothing for anyone and anything but getting and keeping power. It's upsetting, worrying, and just plain sad. The only thing sadder are the people who claim to have served in the military and support gun control because they swore to uphold, support, and defend the Constitution. Part of which is the Second Amendment, which, for anyone watching who doesn't know this, does not apply only to firearms that were around at the time of the writing of the Second Amendment. For crying out loud, a blunderbuss could fire a grape shot, and that would shred a human body and leave them in agony to bleed out. Bayonets, back at the time, triple-bladed in a triangular format to prevent coagulation. If anything, firearms have gotten to a point where they don't wound fatally but leave you alive to suffer near as much as the muskets and other things used back then did. But these are the same idiots who will say that the Second Amendment means muskets, but the First Amendment means Twitter. The founders were so brilliant they knew what speech would evolve into, but so moronic they never even considered firearms technology would expand, even though the puckle gun and the Italian repeating rifle were already on the scene in one way or another. And they just could not afford them. So, I've talked long enough. Let me know what you think. As always, remain civil. If any of the idiots from the MSM or DNC show up, just let them ramble. Don't feed the trolls. We can discuss dissent and debate civilly and logically as adults, because we are adults. They're not. Make sure, please, to also like and share the video. That was a messed up sentence. Make sure to also like and share the video, please, to expand the conversation and to grow the channel. I'm doing the giveaway at 500, 1,000, and 1,500 subscribers. You'll want to be subscribed to be part of that, and you'll want notifications on so that you will be able to know of all new content as it posts. Until next time, be safe, be smart, be healthy, learn to use common sense, and laugh at the media when they don't. Have a wonderful day.